each of you to a talk on Bahujan politics and its relevance in contemporary India, understanding through Kanshiram's lens. Nowadays, we see many progressive political parties under the name of India Alliance appropriate Bahujan politics while discrediting Manyawar Kanshiram. They talk about saving the constitution while not following the constitution themselves. Therefore, it's very important for us in such times that we discuss about Kanshiram's creation of Bahujan politics and how it is relevant in today's times. So we have today with us Dr. Chandraiah Gopani and Professor Narendra Kumar. Dr. Chandraiah Gopani is an associate professor in GB Pant Social Science Institute. He obtained his MA, MPhil and PhD in the discipline of political science from University of Hyderabad, and his areas of research interest include critical theory, caste, Dalit studies, intellectual traditions, literature, youth, education, gender and political economy of development. And our second speaker is Professor Narendra Kumar, who has been the chairperson of CPS and is currently a professor in CPS. His works include politics and religion in India and Dr. Ambedkar and democracy, among many others. So I now request the speakers to speak on the topic.
Good evening to everyone. First of all, I thank BAPSA organizing committee and fraternity of the BAPSA for inviting me to part of this event. I am also very happy to share with this dais with Professor Narendra Kumar sir. He is one of the academician who intellectually contribute. He goes beyond the so-called academics boundaries and see the larger concerns in a much more productive way. So in a way, I am very happy to share with this dais with him. When Kranti asked me to come and attend this program, so I was in Allahabad. I thought this is a good opportunity to meet BAPSA cadre and other faculty members. That too, this event is on Kanshiram, so I thought I should not miss this. So having an event on Kanshiram, so remembering him, how do we remember? How do we remember a person who qualitatively changed the Indian politics, Ambedkarite thinking and anti-caste philosophy? So there are many ways of remembering. So you do some exhibition, you do some garlanding. So you go and visit the parks. So you you sing a song. So there are many ways in which you remember. I feel there is a need to remember, and by locating within the intellectual discourse, particularly in academics. My submission is almost 50 years of Bahujan movement, 40 years of party politics. This itself is a revolutionary phase of Ambedkarite thinking in India. 50 years of, completing 50 years of Kanshiram Bahujan movement, completing 40 years of party politics in India without any interruption itself is a revolutionary phase in anti-caste movement in Ambedkarite politics. Having a small organization in a village with so many challenges itself is a big challenge for the Shudra, Atishudra, SC, ST, OBC groups. Having a national party is a unimaginable thing. The idea of Bahujan politics consistently existing, having a live discussion both in universities, outside the university itself is evident. It has a relevance to Indian politics, to the marginalized groups. However, in academics, almost for 30 to 40 years, academicians, both Dalits, non-Dalits, other marginalized groups, not paid attention, even if they have paid attention to understand Bahujan movement, they fail to theorize the Bahujan politics. So, one can have a different of opinion, but I feel if you read the literature, articles, both academics articles, books, you will find articles, books which are written by the upper caste, even including the Dalits and other marginalized groups. Most of the writings, I feel, are around documenting the party success, electoral strategies, or some sort of a chronology of the Kanshiram movement. I feel this is not enough. The way we are, some of the academicians are engaging to theorize Ambedkarite thinking, anti-caste philosophy, that effort is not invested in theorizing, generating the conceptual vocabulary on Bahujan politics. This is the biggest failure of the academicians who are claimed to the Ambedkarite academicians, who are claimed to working on the anti-caste philosophy. They may have different kind of disagreements, they may have a different kind of political orientations, but in overall, I feel there is a failure in theorizing the Bahujan politics and movements. Further, I will say, in documenting the Bahujan movement also, not done properly by the academicians. I was collecting the both regional literature as well as English literature on Kanshiram, Bahujan movement, and so on and so forth. I felt like the activists who have enormously documented the Bahujan movement 10 times better than the academicians. They may not have skills to theorize it, conceptualize it, historically locate, but I have a feeling that activists who are consistently documented Bahujan movement, who are better than the academicians. Take for example, if you Google right now on Kanshiram, you will find very few. One biography by Penguin, some articles, some Jafarlal or other people, not exactly theorizing it. Activists, for example, Satnam Singh in Hindi, who is a scholar and activist. His writings published by the Samyak Prakashan, you will see the range of. For example, Chandan Shive from the Maharashtra, who wrote in English, documented. In Telugu, Atmakuri Chennaya is the only book, in fact, two books, which are circulated in Telugu popularly today also. Is an activist, is a strong follower of the Kanshiram. So, I feel the documentation at regional level, both Hindi, non-Hindi, credit goes to the activists who sacrificed their time and energy in documenting the Bahujan movement. Academicians, they have their own calculations in writing article or documenting. I am not saying that there are no academicians who have not done, but still it is very limited. Because the very idea of Bahujan, somehow academicians feel that it is not an analytical category. It is a politically motivated, electorally rooted. So therefore it is not a historical, the idea of Bahujan is not a historical. So you always use Dalit Bahujan or Dalit Bahujan. So you have a whole lot of alternative vocabulary in which through which you try to articulate Dalit Bahujan, Dalit Bahujan. Are you getting? But you don't pay much attention the idea of Bahujan as a category that helpful to understand the historical roots of alternative politics. I think that's where even Ilaya contributed a lot for the anti-caste thinking, Kanshiram sir. In his writing, Why I Am Not a Hindu, there will be a paragraph in which he defines Dalit Bahujan, referring to the Bahujan somehow to the OBCs or Dalits or untouchables. I think he published in 1996 when Kanshiram movement was at a peak stage. When outside the university, Kanshiram articulating the idea of Bahujan in a much more historical sense, with a much more political vision. So we have academicians who are experimenting with this term category. I think there is a mismatch, because politics, you have a accountability. What you articulate, how you articulate, you need a direction, you need a vision, you need a clear-cut action, isn't it? In academics, you have a freedom to experiment. At the end of the day, you say that this is my opinion. So you can have an excuse, because the idea of Bahujan, I feel, Kanshiram was referring not with the logic of number. ये नंबर गेम नहीं है. 15% वो है upper caste, 85% other SC, ST, OBCs. Not in that reference. This is my preliminary understanding. It is not in that number game he is referring. He is referring Bahujan as victims of the caste. Victims of the caste. By default, they are majority. The number is a default. But the idea is, Kanshiram is referring the victims of caste are majority. Therefore, it is a historical. In 1920s, in Maharashtra, Karmveer Patil, he published a small manifesto, that is Bahujan Paksh, which is available on online in Velivada website. In 1920s, the title of the manifesto is Bahujan Paksh. In 1960s, in Lucknow, 60s, mid of the 60s, you have a anti-caste thinker, Chandraiah Gopani is one of the greatest anti-caste thinker from Lucknow, coming from OBC. He established a press publication called Bahujan Kalyan, क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में पब्लिकेशन का, प्रकाशन, बहुजन कल्याण प्रकाशन. He published series of books. I think people are not paying attention. Kanwal Bharati, who brought 4 volumes in Hindi, he collected Chandrika Prasad Jignasu articles, contribution, he published in 4 volumes. That is very, very important. What I am trying to bring to your attention is the idea of Bahujan try to understand as an analytical category, historical category, sociologically try to understand other than this number game. Number is definitely is a matter in a democratic politics, but Kanshiram was using in a much more historical sense. Being a new generation of scholars and activists, we have to pay attention in understanding that sense of idea of Bahujan. Because once you have a clarity on the very idea of Bahujan, it will be easy to articulate, give a direction, whether in the politics or in academics. So this is one. Second, I feel, remember, Ambedkar died in 1956. Kanshiram also died in 2006. So we also die one day. When Baba Sahib gave a Agra speech, so he was emphasizing the people who benefited out of my struggle through reservation, they have deceived me, because they have to take historical responsibility in spreading my movement and should be in forefront to take this anti-caste legacy both in politics and intellectual domain. Kanshiram, look at that, is beginning of the movement with the bomb set. When Ambedkar died, he felt that employees are deceived me. Kanshiram movement is beginning with the employees. Where Ambedkar felt that he failed to organize the employees, Kanshiram beginning point is with the employees, where he succeeded in building the movement, a foundation for the Bahujan politics and movement. Are you getting me? How difficult it is to organize the beneficiary of the who are claimed to be the middle class, that is whether it is the right term to claim them middle class or not, organizing them, creating a largest organization which spread the anti-caste thinking throughout India. I feel Kanshiram was reaching to the Meghalaya, Nagaland with the concept of bomb set. which didn't happen during even Ambedkar time. Are you getting? You don't know how to connect with the Nagaland population. You don't know how to communicate, have a conversation, dialogue with the some Meghalaya people, Tripura. Kanshiram succeeded in convincing the communities who are claimed to be the separate, both culturally, geographically, politically. But Kanshiram, here is the person taking a message of anti-caste philosophy, Pule, Ambedkar, to the extreme northeast. You can't even imagine now in 2004. Convincing a northeast student on Bahujan philosophy, anti-caste thinking itself is a big challenge. But Kanshiram was doing much before 30 years back, in mid of the 75, late 80s. So, meaning, Kanshiram had a vision of all India level vision, coming from Punjab, from the Sikhu background, going to the Maharashtra, living the Maharashtra, having a national vision. So he can start an organization in Punjab if he wants. He can start being a Chamar, he can start a Chamar organization. But he was not doing that. He was visualizing anti-caste movement throughout India. I think that is one of the very, very important beginning point. So I feel BOMSEP created the idea of BOMSEP, other than organizing employees, the idea of cadre camp. If you might have heard the idea of cadre camp. Some of them you might have attended the cadre camp. I think we have to study deeply the idea of cadre camp, how Kanshiram was developing. I feel the idea of cadre camp is a robust idea which created a thousands and thousands of the organic intellectuals, which you may not do in the university system. The organic, the creation of the, generating the organic intellectuals through cadre camps is one of the significant contributions of the BOMSEP. BOMSEP was the largest after Ambedkar, largest organization in the entire anti-caste philosophy in Ambedkarite movement. The cadre camp, participating into a cadre camp is cultivating a new personality altogether. Attending a cadre camp, it's not an easy thing. Just you will come to know some historical facts. Periyar done this, Ambedkar did this, Pule did this. No. You are creating intellectuals who are organically linked with the anti-caste philosophy and take a message to the grassroots level. They are not the organic intellectual who try to write only pamphlet and booklets and that's the end of the story. No. The same people who are equivalently writing pamphlet, writing booklets for the local regional language, they are also messengers of the Bahujan philosophy to the grassroots level. That is why in BOMSEP you have a language of missionary, not in a Christian sense. If you go to the old BOMSEP people, they will talk a missionary wala hai, meaning you need a different personality understanding on the Bahujan philosophy. The language of missionary is completely different from the outside so-called Ambedkar, I think. The cadre camp is also a platform in which you began to think about the idea of fraternity, Bhaichara, bringing a Muslim, bringing a Maurya community, Chamar community, Mang community, Mala community, Mahar community, asking them to sit together, creating a solidarity, the idea of fraternity that we focus is one of the very, very important concept that is generated through cadre camp. I think that's where you have to conceptualize. Not cadre camp is not an information thing. How thousands of the people become a missionaries in spreading the Bahujan movement, how they imbibed the language of missionary culture. I am using the missionary culture. The people who are dedicated their life, they have developed a missionary culture. To be a representative of the Bahujan, Kanshiram follower, you have to discipline in your behavior. It has to be reflected in your everyday life and in your manners, thinking, approach. If you meet some of the old Bomsep people, you will definitely come to know the way they speak to you. So, Kanshiram experimenting with the idea of cadre camp, creating organic intellectuals, the leaders, and also focusing on the solidarities, building a solidarities, and creating a anti-caste philosophy in a much more connected way. Cadre camp, if you see, cadre camp mein, you will see the connections of every phase of anti-caste thinking, from ancient to Bhakti movement to colonial period to after independence. In a way, he brought all the thinkers which you are displaying now. If there is no Bomsep, if there is no Kanshiram, you could have not seen these photos. Only you could have seen Phule, Ambedkar, Periyar. If today in JNU, everywhere if Jagdev Prasad is not appearing, Ramsarup Verma or other Phule, all these anti-caste thinkers, it is because of the Bahujan ideology, it is not because of anything else. I feel, I really appreciate Babsa bringing many anti-caste thinkers to the public discourse. Other than Ambedkar, Phule, Savitribai Phule, Periyar. I think that's where our focus has to be. That's what Kanshiram did. See, sometimes it is a comfort zone to discuss repeatedly Ambedkar, Phule, Savitribai Phule. I am not saying that there is a already available environment to discuss. I am not denying that. There are challenges. But it is also much more difficult to introduce a new anti-caste thinkers to the intellectual discussion. Today in North India, of course, there is an emergence of the discussion on the new anti-caste thinkers. It is a very positive sign. I could say this. If Kanshiram could have brought these anti-caste thinkers, the entire India could have not seen them, remember them. They could have become a local figures. What I am saying is, introducing Chandraiah Prasad Jignasu from the OBC community as an anti-caste thinkers to some remote Andhra people itself is a message of Kanshiram. You need a courage, you need a understanding, you need a vision to do that. Only Phule, Ambedkar repeated things, you can do it. But bringing new people, intellectually engaging, giving a political direction, that's what Kanshiram is. I feel you need a more anti-caste thinkers. That is what it creates. You have a only possibility of having a dialogue with the other Bahujan communities only through icons. That's what Kanshiram able to see. He brought Udadevi, Jalkari Bai, what not? Can anybody see without Kanshiram those icons? No, impossible. He introduced. Imagine Ramabai Ambedkar Park in Lucknow. In Maharashtra itself, you don't find that is in the name of Ramabai Ambedkar, a big, large park. You only Ramabai become a reference point, not in the parks. And in Lucknow, if you go in the name of Ramabai Ambedkar, there is a public park. It's nothing. Ramabai is nothing to do with the UP, but still, where is Periyar? In Lucknow, you have a statue. Where is Narayana Guru? In Lucknow, people are going every day and taking selfie with history. Whether you belongs to Dalits or OBC, upper caste, doesn't matter. That's what vision is. That's what Bahujan thinking is. So there is a long story, sir can explain. I feel my emphasis is intellectually what we can do. How do you conceptualize? Ek cheese. Because if new generation of people do not engage theoretically in theorizing, creating a conceptual vocabulary on Bahujan politics and movement, on Kanshiram mission, legacy, I think we are doing injustice. I feel Bapsa say or other new generation of people should take up this. There are challenges. Kanshiram, when he went to the south, in late 80s he went, beginning of the 90s, with the emergence of the robust politics in UP, with that victory he went south. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, even Maharashtra, you could see there is a presence of the Kanshiram mission, BSP and all those things. But you don't see the way you have seen the results in the North India, particularly in UP. I feel this is the biggest challenge because BSP went as a party there, not as a mission. So you created a victory here and you went there with that message. You began to bring the other leaders into a party trying to get a result. I think it will be bound to be a failure story. You need to create your own cadre. You need to create your own leadership. That is not done. They will be there whether result comes or not, because it's a movement. I think that is not done. So therefore, a new vision has to take up other than political parties, because political parties, they have their own agendas. If you are really concerned about movement, as an intellectual discourse, Bahujan discourse, you have to create that missionary work. So I feel there are many discussions in universities, outside universities, secularism, secular discourse, liberal left discourse, and so on and so forth. There are nationalist discourse. I feel in entire anti-caste thinking and politics, in entire Ambedkarite thinking and politics, today in 2004, other than Kanshiram legacy, vision, I do not see any alternative political visions that exist. Apart from the political electoral results as a ideological intellectual alternative to the dominant discourses, I feel a Kanshiram philosophy, not work style. Our vocabulary has to be changed. Kanshiram as a thinker. You may say that he didn't write any theoretical book. I feel that is how our poverty of thinking goes. That means somebody has to write some theoretical book to claim as a thinker. I think this is a very backward looking. You need Akela, A.R. Akela, a activist, Bomsef activist, produced 12 volumes on Kanshiram. How much time, energy is spent, sacrificed. No academician done that. A activist produced 12 volumes collecting each speech of Kanshiram. That's where. So is a thinker, a visionary, a leadership. He theorized Ambedkarite leadership. The entire Chamcha Age book is, what is it? He is trying to theorize what should be the Ambedkarite leadership. So I feel a new generation of people, there is a great responsibility to focusing on these issues. Then only the great tribute can be given to the Kanshiram. That is how we have to remember, along with the other everyday productive actions. With this, I really thank Sagar and Kranti, Avichal, even Praveen, previous president, all the fraternity of the BOMSEF and JNU students. I always feel it is a learning process when I interact with them. I also thank Narendra Kumar sir, interacting with him. Thank you very much.